Hi everyone, welcome to Harsha Trainings. Today I have come up with video on how to create query entities, how to add filters, so what is rule inputs and so what is data stores and mapping with tables in Appian. Let's move on to second session.
Last two sessions, that is for you because you are not there. So we'll share the recording with you so you can connect what is the. So do you know about the Appian? What Appian is basically?
Uh, yeah, I just went through it. Uh, I think it is a BPM tool, right? Use it to
Correct,
develop
correct.
the
Oh,
applications.
yeah. Yes, yes. So you have gone through the first day session, so you know about this Appian. So Appian is basically a BPM tool. It's a low code environment where most of the things are the drag and drop, and so you can create an application within it. It's really quick and all right. So this is how the Appian designer looks like, all right. And then we have this is a designer page where we can create in one Appian environment. It's on cloud basis. So in one Appian environment, you can create as many number of the applications. There is no limitations, all right. So these all things that you are seeing here, right? Inventory management system, leave management system, Acme solutions, and all those things are these are nothing but a one each solution, right? So why we create an application package? We say this as an application package. So each application package will contain a list of the objects that we will creating to our for our application, right? So if you go inside this package, we see this list of the objects are available that we create for create an application. So if you go to the new, you will see the list of the objects available that we will be creating for to help our application to be built. All right. So till yesterday, what we discussed about the application package, what application package is, what is the security of how do we secure our application package. So to do the minimum security, we need this IMS administrator and IMS all users group. All right. So we provide the security to all of the objects, and we also create some of the folders. So these folders we needed because in our application we will be creating some expression rules, we will be creating constants and interfaces and all, right? So we will be discussing all about what is the interface, what is the constant, and what is the expression rules are all. So we store those objects in the particular folder so we can segregate all these objects as well, right? It will be easy to find it out. And then we also discuss about the CDTs. What's the custom data type? That short form as CDT. So custom data types are nothing but the a group of group of the single values, like literal values that we say, that is integer, float, um, boolean, right? Those if we combine all this in one, that will be having a CDT, custom data type. Okay. So what we did yesterday as well, we created one table. If you go to the cloud database shoot, here we created one table related to our application, and that will be IMS inventory table. So inventory table, we have given, this is the structure of the table, and we have given this number of the items are available within the table. And also we created the associated CDT for that particular table. So there are 4 ways of creating a CDT. We discussed all 4 yesterday. So we can create from the scratch, we can create from the existing CDT, we can just copy it, and then we can also create from the database table view, and we also can import an XST. So we see all these 4 options. If you once you go through the video, you will be able to understand it. Okay. So this is the these 2 CD that we created based on the other 3 options, and then this was the one that we created for our application purpose, IMS inventory, which is from the database table or view. Okay. Okay. So data is ready in our table. The table is ready, data is ready, and then we have our inventory CDT mapping is also there. Now there are some. Let me discuss some concept in Appian is of the data store. Okay, so in the data store, what is the data store in Appian? Is something like that. Let me share with you. Okay, so as we are displaying, this one is the Appian Designer, right? This is the Appian Designer. If you say go here, then we'll see this is the Appian Designer environment. If you see this one, this is the Appian Designer. Okay, and then we have Appian Database. All right. Satish, can you please go on mute? Getting some echo. So.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So this is the Appian Designer, and this is what we have for Appian Cloud Database. Okay, so this is what I have designed here. So this is Appian Designer, and then we have Cloud Database. So in Cloud Database we have tables. right? This is nothing but the data store name. If you see this one, this is the data store, and within this data store we have n number of tables. Okay, and we have one table called IMS inventory as well. Okay, cool. And in Appian Designer, we have a list of objects created, that CDTs, right? That's, as we have created one CDT, like IMS inventory CDT we have created, right? And then in Appian Designer, we have a concept called data store. DS, I mean, giving the name as DS, that is nothing but data store. So we can create n number of data stores. All right. So how this Appian connect with this table? So to connect this table, we create a data store in Appian. So once we create a data store, that data store will connect to the different entities of this Appian cloud database. Okay, so this data store basically connect with the this here. So let me give this different color. Okay. Okay. So this data store connects with the cloud database Appian JDBC. Okay. And within this Appian JDBC, we have this number of tables. So once we connect this database relation here, data store relation here with this database within the cloud database, then we will be able to connect relation between all of the tables. Okay. So to do so, what we have to do is we have to map these CDTs with this particular data stores. Like if I'm going to create a CDT for IMS inventory, right? If I'm going to create a CDT for IMS inventory, this IMS inventory table, I connect with data store, say 1. Okay, this IMS inventory table, suppose I'm connecting with data store 1. Let's see if I make the change. No, I don't. So this IMS inventory table is connected with the data store 1, and this data store 1 will connect with the IMS inventory table. So how it will work is like this is the way it is gonna work. So it is connected with the inventory 1 and data store 1. This is the connection. So what we will do in the data store, we will map the connection with data store 1 with IMS inventory, and this data store 1 will also be connected with this CDT, IMS inventory CDT. So this is how we connect the relationship. You will be able to understand once I create the relationship here. So if you remember yesterday class, right, we created this CDT IMS inventory. If I open this IMS inventory CDT, you will be able to see that here at the rate of table. So in the CDT, within the CDT XST file, I am defining the relation that this table is get associated with particular CDT. I mean, there's a link created with here. We don't have to do it manually. Basically, I mean, for Satish, you don't have to do it manually. All this mapping, once you will create a custom data type from the database or table option, you will getting this file automatically generated. And it's basically in the CDT. You will see once you go to the video. Okay, so now let me go to here and create one data store. So I go to a new and say data store, and I give the name as IMS data store. Okay, data store for IMS application. Now you see this one, right? I was talking about this point. So I'm creating a data store, and I'm linking the data store with this particular JDBC Appian Tomcat table. So this is nothing but the JDBC Appian, right? How we can verify this? If you go to the table, you will be able to see this JDBC Appian. This is a database. Okay, the server name. All right. So this is what we are going to do here. We are just creating a relationship between the Appian data store with the table. So we'll say create. So now let me provide the security for this one. So I have two groups, IMS, all user, and we have another group, IMS, system administrator, IMS administrator, yes. So Neera, this is a question to you. What should be the permission level for IMS all user?
Yes.
What should be the permission? Is it viewer, editor, administrator, or deny?
All viewer only viewer
Okay,
right
and for system administrator?
administrator right.
Okay, cool. So we created this data store is now created. Basically in Appian, we have created this particular object, the data store. Okay. So we can create n number of data stores. Right now, suppose we are creating the data store one. All right. So we'll say save. If you go to the object, IMS data store is created. Now how it looks like. Hmm. So this is how the data store will look like. Right now, there is no entity mapping. When I say there is no entity mapping, this relation is not created yet. Okay. So we are going to create this relation now. So how do we create this relation? So we say add entity. Okay, we are going to add an entity. What is the type of that entity? I mean, basically, we are going to add this entity of which type. So we know the type, right? It's IMS underscore inventory, right? IMS inventory. I select and I also give the name of the entity is IMS underscore inventory underscore entity. Okay, so I'm just saving this relationship. So I'm saying this is nothing but my CDT tab, right? When I select this one, the type what I have selected is nothing but our CDT, right? This is a custom data type. Okay, so I'm saying create an entity for me in the name of IMS inventory entity, and the mapping should be of type IMS inventory. All right, so when I click on save, I will verify the relation and it says entity mapping verified. Why it has verified successfully? Because we have a table in our system in the name of, doesn't matter what's the name, that can be also a different name. Just 1 second, guys. I'm getting on call. Okay, so this mapping was verified successfully because we have this table in our cloud database, and then we are creating this entity. So once we add the entity and we verified it successfully, we say save and publish. So this is what we did the relation. We created a data store within Appian, and this data store I linked with this particular. It's linked with this particular JDBC Appian in the cloud database. Okay, and then in this data store we are creating an entities. These all are nothing but the entities. So we are creating an entity of the type CDT, IMS inventory, and then we have given this entity type and name, and which will be unique. Create a relation internally with this particular cloud database. Guys, if you have doubt, please ask. Okay, how we have mapped this. This is very important.
Yeah, I have one doubt.
Mm-hmm.
If CDT name is different for the cloud database name, table name,
Mm-hmm.
it will be work. It will be mapped.
Yeah. Yes, definitely it will map. Why? Because see, while creating the CDT, if you remember, right? Let me show you that thing as well. We go to the new and we'll say data type. All right. And in this data type, I'll say create from database table or view. I select the database data store source, right? This is the data source, and then table or view, I'll give the name as IMS inventory. All right. And then I'll say create continue. All right. And then here I will say like I give IMS inventory, I'll say IMS inventory test. All right, this is a different name, right? Once you click on create, it will create that mapping. It's not required to be the same name. All right. You
But
can give
data entry should be same name. ID, item names.
I
It
mean,
should
that
be
is no, that is also it can be different. I mean, you see that is editable, right? That the field name can also be modified, but why we keep it same? So we can understand which field we are mapping it, right? So
okay.
basically, what will happen? Let me create one, then you will understand. Basically, what will happen in internal code in the XST file? Let's see if I select data store here, and then I select the IMS inventory. So this should be the same, right? I mean, here we are selecting which table we need to create a data type. So here what I will do, I'll say I give some different name. I'll say test inventory CDT. So this is a different name, right? And here you see the column name. If we are not, if I just make it as a name, I'll give this as a description, right? I don't want to be have everything quantity. All right. So this is how we can design it, right? And let me remove this, otherwise it will create a data student by itself. I'll say create. Okay. So when I say create, what will happen? The name of the CT will be different. The name of the field will be different, but the mapping inside the XST file, if you download the XST file and go here, okay, Satish in this group and share the yesterday. So Satish, I have asked the training organization to add you in the group and then share the recording with you. All right.
Yeah. Okay, Ravi. Yeah.
All right. So you see this one, right? Let me open this as well. So this is the inventory CDT that we have the same name and everything. You see this, right? The name of this CDT will be different. So this complex type of the name is IMS inventory, but here it will be test inventory CDT that we have given. But if you go to the table mapping, the source table mapping, it's at the rate of table and the table name. This will be same here at the rate table and table name. So doesn't matter what you provide. Satish, can you please go on mute?
Okay.
So doesn't matter what you give the name of your CDT and the or the field, the internal mapping will always be same. So here you see this, right? We have changed that name of this column. So we have given this column name is item name, and here also it is mapping with the at the rate of column item name. Okay, same thing here. If you see here, the name is only name, but internally it is at the rate of column item name. Okay, so doesn't matter what name you are giving, internal mapping will be the same always. Okay,
Okay.
clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, so now if you want to go to item data store and then add one more entity and select that name here, IMS. Did I create this? Okay, it's test underscore inventory. So this is the CDT tab, right? I say okay, and here you can give any name. Let's say XYZ. You click on save. So this is going to be name of your entity, and this is the type of your entity. And if you verify it, it will still be verifying it. Why? Because internally the mapping is the same. All right.
Okay, well, thank you.
So what we did now, we added the relationship, so we can have this connection between the table and the data store along with the CDT, so we can write and read data from this particular application. Okay, so right now we are not writing any data, but we need to read the data, right? Because we need to display that information to the interface level, that user can go and select actually what is the information are available in the table. Okay, so whenever you create an entity, so this is a type of entity, right? If you see here in the data store, this is a type of entity. So if I give this name IMS inventory entity, we will not be able to refer the type internal, right? Because the property of this is a type of entity, but if you write it down somewhere, it will be considered as a text. So how do we refer any object? Like if I want to refer any object like called folder or document, so we cannot define by writing it. So to declare any object of that particular type, we need to create a constant. So what is a constant now? The constants are basically an object which is very useful to define a particular object of a type. And also, like suppose in your application, you have created an application where you are using this keyword like called IMS application, right? So the name of your application is IMS applications, and you are using that in the many places, in many screens, like 10 to 12 screens, you are using this IMS application, the keyword. Now business wants to change that IMS application to inventory management system, right? So what you have to do, you have to go all those 12 places and then change from IMS application to inventory management system, right? Okay, so that label, right? If we would have used a constant, then what we can do here, right? No, we all the 12 places this constant will be there. Now if we change that constant value, it will be reflecting all other places. Okay, so that's the one of the purpose of constant. So right now we are going to create a constant for our entity purpose. So we go and we create a new constant, and we'll give the name of the constant. There's a one best practice that we need to follow is that constant name will always should be always in capital. So we'll say IMS, and what is this? This is going to be an entity. So IMS data store entity underscore inventory. So for this inventory table, we are going to create a constant as an entity. So we are given the name as IMS data store entity inventory holds the entity for IMS inventory table. Okay. Now the type, you see this one, you can create n number, I mean whatever types are available, you can create all of them. So we have the type is data stored entity. So we select this. As soon as you select the type data stored entity, it will say which data store. So the data store that we have created is called IMS data store. So we selected the IMS data store, and whatever entity will be available within this IMS data store, that will be listed here. So right now there is only one entity listed. If you remember, we have given this name IMS inventory entity, which is available here, and we'll say create, and we are storing this IMS constant folder. Okay, so now this entity constant is being created, which is type of IMS data store entity. So you should be giving the name in such a way that user can understand by looking into it, right? So if I look, okay, IMS DSE inventory, okay, DSE is mean data store entity, it's a entity constant. Okay, now we have created this constant of this particular entity. So if you see this one, this is nothing but referring to this particular object, IMS inventory entity. Okay, any doubt? Who else have joined? I guess someone has joined in between, right? All right, anyways. Okay, no doubt, Satish is clear to you as well? I mean, if you have any doubt, please ask, okay?
No, I don't have any doubt.
Okay, Neera, thank you. Satish?
Yeah, like what are these like we are working on all these inventory, DS, IMS inventory, all these are objects.
Yes,
Can you
these
clear
all are
those?
the objects that we are building for our application. So the purpose here is that, I mean, we created this application. So to create any application, the application we have decided is called inventory management system. So like suppose in your company, right, you may need a notebook, you may need a pen, a pencil for your, for your purpose, for your like writing down something for regarding to your application and all, right? So you should not be buying for by yourself, right? You can order in your company. There is a inventory available in your company, right, where you can replace an order, and it will go for a manager approval, where they can approve it. Okay, yeah, please go ahead, and is a valid valid employee. provide him some notebook and pen and pencil, right? So once you place that order, manager will approve it, then you can go and you can collect that things from your inventories. Okay.
Okay.
Alright. So to do so, we are having this, application. We are creating this application. We have this build this table, right? I mean, this table is a sample of your inventory. So what if, like, suppose if you want to order a pen, that should be available in the in the inventory, right? So there are
Yeah.
500 quantities are still there. So you should be looking into this particular information. You cannot come, I mean, the end user will not come to the database and see what are the informations are available, right? So how
Yeah.
can they see it? They can see it on the front end, on the screen that we will be designing it, right? So by looking into
Okay.
this, okay, I have pen in my inventory, I can, and there are 500 quantities are available, I can order like one or two, right? So this is what we can
Okay.
do it. So we are trying to achieve that thing by using the end as a perspective of end users, where they can create an, I mean, we will create an application where they can go and they will say, uh, um, place an order, right? Suppose we create an action call, place an order. Once they click on place an order, they should be seeing what are the items are available, and from this item they can place some order and they can proceed, and that will go for a manager approval, and then we can build an entire flow on that one. So right now this information is available within the table, so we are trying to fetch this information to the Appian level, and once we receive that information to the Appian level, then we will be able to display it on the screen, right? So this is what
Okay.
the
Yeah.
purpose is. So we have this CDT created because if we are going to pull this information on the CD, I mean on the Appian level, there should be some
Mhm.
data type, right? There should be some data which will be holding this information. I cannot hold this information in a type of text or integer or boolean, right? It's a collective information. So we have created a CDT for this one, and this CDT is is exactly the same type of this particular table. So it will be able to hold this information within this type. Okay, so we'll create a variable and we will declare the type of this one IMS inventory. So we should be holding that particular information there. Why we are creating this IMS inventory data store? Because we are to pull the data from this table to the Appian level, we need a connection. So this is nothing but a connection that we are doing it from Appian to database. Okay, and in the process of adding the connection, we also created a constant. This constant will be required to the system level, where we need to declare, right, which entity, from which entity you want to pull the information. So that there we will require this particular constant. So that is what we are going to look. Okay, so right now everything is ready. We need to create a rule. It's a query entity rule. It's a simply expression rule, but we see is a query entity rule which will be pulling this information from the database. Okay, so we'll go and we'll say new, and we create an expression rule. I'll give this name as IMS query underscore get inventory. Okay, and give a description to pull the information from IMS inventory table. Okay, and we are going to store this one is IMS expression rule folder. I'll say create. Guys, this is very important. Okay, so pay your concentration. Okay, so to get the data from the table, we have a function called a bank query. A bank query entity. Okay, so this is a function which is required to pull the information from the table. So there are certain parameters is required. So it will ask for an, if you want to know what are the parameters is required for this function, you can see it here. It says a bank query entity needs entity, query, and page total count. So I need to provide the entity. So if I provide the entity, so the entity name is that IMS inventory entity. If you remember, right, in the data store we created that. But we can, if we type it out, it will not be referring the type of entity. So that is the purpose we have created that constant. To refer a constant, we say CONS bank and then IMS underscore data store entity inventory. Okay. So now I'm letting this query entity function know, please connect with me this particular data store entity, and the query I have is to use the query, we have a bank query function, and here we need to pass the paging info. So paging info is another function called a bank paging info, and start index will be 1. Please give me data from the start index 1, and batch size, and the batch size is, so if I declare the batch size 1, it will return me only 1 data. If I define the batch size is 2, it will return me 2 data. So to get the entire data, we do batch size as -1. Okay. Now if I test this rule, you see this all information we are pulling from the database. Okay. This is the information that is available in the database, which is what we are getting it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items. If you go here, you will see there are total count 7 items. So all 7 items we are receiving it. Okay. Any doubt?
I have one doubt. A bank paging info. What is this function do?
Okay, so this function basically defines how many data you want from the database, how many data you want. You know, this will be very required. Like this is example, we are getting only 7 data, right? But in the real scenario, you will be getting like millions of data, right? So you don't need to call your entire millions of data in one call, right? It will slow down your application. So maybe you will need like page wise. In the first page, you need 10 information, then you will pass 1, 10. So what it will do, it will give you the 10 results. Now if I make it here, I like 3. Okay, start index is 1 and batch size is 3, then you will see that I am getting this information only 3 information, 1, 2 and 3. See this? So it is giving me the information from okay. So it is, see, we have one more parameter called within this paging info called sort. Okay, so sort, I'll use a bank sort info, and then I will sort it based on the field. So the field is ID, and then ascending, I'll say true. Okay, so I'm giving the instruction to this particular function. Please pull me the information from this particular entity where the batch size is 1. It means return me only 1 result, and then it should be sorted based on the ID. So now you see this, right? The ID 1 we have received, right? So this is the ID 1. Now if I say, suppose if I want to get the second result, okay, only the second result, what I can do, the start index I will say 2, and then batch size is let it be 1. So I'm getting the 2. Now if I want to get the result from 3 to 5, okay, so what I'll say, please give me the data from the start index 3, and I need 2 results. So it will say 3 and 4. If I want to get 3 result, I'll say 3. So it will be like 3, 4 and 5. Okay.
Okay.
And if you want to have the entire result, you just say 1, -1. So what it will do, it will return you the entire result available in the system. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so there will be a question like, what is an output of this query entity function? So the output of this query entity function is called data subset. Okay. So the difference is that the data subset will have other informations as well. So like what are the start index, what was the best size we have given, what is the sorting field, and what the total count and all, right? But what we need is the actual data. So what we will do, we'll just do dot data. You see this one here is the name of this parameter is called data, right? So I'm just giving dot data, and we click on test rule, you will be getting this all 7 result only. Okay, clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Satish, I know you might be thinking about what we are happening here. I mean, if you have any doubt, you can ask Satish.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what we did, we created this data store entity. We mapped this relation in this data store entity, and based on that data store entity, we created a constant which is of the type, which is referring the type data store entity, and we also created a query to get the data from the table, and we are pulling this data from this table. So if you guys do not have any question, then we can move forward.
I don't
Yeah,
have
we
any.
have used this query, right?
Yeah, we have created
we
this
have,
query to get the data.
yeah. Okay, fine. To see in the front end, you in the application,
We will be creating this interface. We will be creating the interface, and we will be seeing that.
That is the next step.
That is the next step. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So end user will not see all these things, right? Because this is for the developer. We are designing this code.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we'll create an interface. We'll create an application. I mean, action for that end user, so there they can go and see it. Okay. All right. Now there are a lot of things that you can do with this query entity. Suppose, I mean, this is very small application that we are building, right? In real scenarios, you will have like 30 columns, 40 columns, a lot of huge data, right? So, and from those data, you will not need it to be pull all those information. But there are certain scenarios where you need, give me the details of this inventory where the item name is pen, right? I mean, if you want to get the details only over the pen, then how do you get that, right? So to do so, in the query entity, we have one parameter called logical expression. Okay. So let's say I want an information. So we create a logical expression, and to do so, we have a bank query logical expression. All right. And then it needs the operator. So we have an operator, and the valid operators are and, or, and all. Okay. So we will be using, suppose we are going to have and. Define you what is the N and all, and then we have filters. What are the filters you want to apply? So I want to apply a bank query filter, and that query filter field, right? I'll say the field based on the item name, right? Item name. So this field name should be the same that you have defined in your CDT. Okay, item name, and then we'll say the operator. I will say equal to, and the value I'll say 10. Okay, so what I'm doing here is, I'm just trying to apply this query filter where I'm saying please return the result where the item name is equal to 10. If I click on test tool now, you see it reduced to the two data where the item name is equal to 10, right? But we cannot hard code it, right? If you hard code it that, then this query rule will always be behaving that returning the pen. So what we can do, we need to create a rule input. Okay, so what is the use of rule input? I will explain you. I'll give the name as the item name here, and it is going to be a type text. Okay, now instead of giving this pen here, I will call this rule input, say ri bang, and rule input bang item name, and if I pass pen here, then I'll get these two results. Now if I pass as pencil, I'll get the result of the pencil. So now this rule become very dynamic, right? I mean, if I want to get that entire result, I will not pass anything, and I want to get only the data. So it is breaking. Why it is breaking? Because it's saying you are applying a query entity, but you are not passing any value. You are applying a query filter, but you are not passing any value. So when we will apply this query filter, so there's a parameter called apply when. So when is not null. If my RI item name is not null. So please apply this query filter when my RI item name is not null. So if my RI item is null, if I click on test tool, I'll get the entire data. Okay. If I pass anything here, then I'll get only associated result with that. So we have copy. So 2 copies in function. So item name. So we receive all those. Okay. Now, is any doubt here?
We have used end operator, right? Why it is?
Yeah, we have used
What
AND
was it?
operator. Why we have used AND operator is that now suppose I want to create one more query filter. Good question. And I want to get this query filter. Let's say item description. Okay, item description. So we want to have this in on item description. And item description, I don't remember the description, right? But I what I know is that it includes some of the text. It includes some of the text. And let's say we create one more parameter called item description of type text, and we will refer this item description here. Okay. Okay. Now, if you see for this pen, right? Let me show you this pen. We have 2 information. Okay, we have pen at index 1 at index 2. So I don't remember the entire description, but I know there's something called black and blue, right? So I'll say blue. Okay, and if I click on test rule, my result is reduced to 1 result, right? It is now matching where is the item name as a pen, and item description includes blue. So I am getting this option.
Okay.
Okay. Now if I make it as a black, now I'm getting the other result. Now what will happen if I make this as OR? Can anyone guess the answer? Even I pass pen and black, what will be the output?
Anyone is true, then display the answer.
So I mean, how many results we will get? Nida?
I think 4.
4. No? Satish, you not try? How many results we will get?
I guess like only one, the same.
No, we will get 2 results. Why we'll get 2 results? Here we are giving the OR operator. So what it's trying to do is that it's trying to say
Pen.
where is the pen? So pen is available in 2 places, right? And then black is available in 1 place. So it's doing the OR. So these 2 places we are having this match. Pen is matching 2 places, so we are getting these 2 results. And in one of the places black, so it's getting this result as well. So if I make this AND, it means that I am saying this function that where these 2 things are matching with it as an AND, mean both should be matched. So both are matching only 1 place, so we are getting only 1 result. Okay.
Yeah.
Clear? Any doubt?
No.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. No.
Not clear.
Yeah. So now let me declare you what is the equal operator and what is the includes operator. All right. So you see this one, right? I have given this pen. If I do as a PE only, right? Right? Will I get any result? Or how many result we will getting it?
Yeah, only in the same one.
Meera, what
One
is
result.
your answer?
I think 2.
We will not get any result. Why we are not going to get any result? Because the equal operator 2 is the exact match, and there is no data with the exact match PE.
Okay.
Right? So that's why it's saying we don't have any data matching with PE. It's because we have used the equal operator. Now, if we would have used here includes, then you tell me how many results we will get.
2. I think 2.
Let's see the database. This is the item name. Now you tell me how many data you will get.
Yeah, 3.
3.
Yes, good guys. So you are getting, why you are getting one result? Because it is also trying to match the black. Now if I remove this black and then do this, then you will get the
Okay.
3 items. Okay, because we have used the AND operator, right? If you would have used the OR operator,
Yeah.
then using this description also we will get 3 results. But now we are getting 3 results because we have removed this description, and then it's blue, I mean pen, and then pencil. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's see. You guys tell me. I want to add one more query filter based on the item price. So what I need to do?
We need to read other function, the same
So
other.
my requirement is that the item should be under 50. Item price should be under less than equal to 25.
Using less than or equal to operator.
Okay, so we will copy this and we will paste it here. So what is the field name of we need to pass? Which field you want to put the filter?
Price. Item price.
So we'll say item price, and what operator we will use?
Less than equal to.
Less than equal to, and we need to create an integer field here, item price of type number integer, and then here it will be using as item price. So if I pass 25 now here, how many result we will get?
Yeah. We also get that item price 30, right? Yeah.
No, I am providing the item price 25. So the code that I have mentioned is less than equal to item price. So less than equal to of 25 basically. So how many result we will get?
It should get only 2, I guess. But
That is correct. So we are getting only 2 results where the item price is less than equal to 25. So here 25 and 25. We didn't get that other one because the price was 30, right? So the code will not accept that one, and then we'll return only 2 results. I guess this is now clear to all of you, right? I mean, how we are putting this data, how we can put some filters. Anything you want to know in these functions? What is the function? Why we are using this and all?
so all these are functions which are using in the Appian, right? I did
Yes,
not get
all
that.
these are Appian functions. So you guys, when we will start working, you will be remembering slowly, right? It cannot be remembered in one day. So that's what the training is for, right? You can know what function to be used. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions, guys?
No.